morning, everybody. For some of you who aren't aware, I wanted to clarify something, the previous video that I've uploaded. Now, the thing about the whole mask situation, the C-19 is a scam. It is. It's not what they're telling people what it is. Geoengineering, poisoning is a problem which is also having a hand in some of these mysterious circumstances that are actually happening throughout the nation, as well as others. There's ways to kill off the pathogens and like the nanotech that basically comes from this stuff, but due to certain masks that they've tampered with and intentionally made the substance as the food for that same stuff that they spray out there, is counterproductive wearing certain ones. And then it's very concerning when you got people doing certain types of surgery, but they always wear those types of masks, right? And of course, even they themselves are exposed to the geoengineering poisoning that's out there. Except a lot of these people, they don't, because of them not taking this stuff seriously, they don't detox this junk out of their system. They don't. So, think about it. If you were to be made a person of interest by this program, right? This program that tortures people for profit, by misusing certain equipment, for medical, certain even equipment that is not even designed for other specific purposes, but they configure it so it can be designed to use to actually hurt people in order for them to get all that data that they use to for AI. And this is also one of the reasons why they're trying to combine AI with your everyday tech, even within the entertainment industry. I didn't want jack crap to do with any of the new generation systems, the consoles, because I knew it was going to that. I knew it was coming to that. And sure enough, PlayStation already revealed that they already are put down a patent for AI with their systems, for the AI to play the system. And they're going to say that, well, you have an option to either play the game yourself or have the AI play it for you. I'm not teaching no damn AI shit. Nothing. Period. I refuse. Because it's because all of this stupid AI technology is that we were in this predicament in the first place. Why you got so many greedy, and even without it, they probably would find something else to be greedy with anyway. So the biggest issue here is that you got people out there who don't take this stuff so seriously, and they are constantly getting laced. The problem with this goes far back, even before we were even born. When we're in the fetal stage and we actually start to grow, it's going to get to a point where we, of course, we're going to need oxygen. But the thing is, the same oxygen our mothers are breathing is the same oxygen that has been tampered with and poisoned. So, for the minute before we even born, we're already poisoned, because it's of course it's not even just in the air. It's in the food that we buy from the stores too. It's in everything, man. It's even in the water too. This stuff gets everywhere. But you see, the thing I wanted to discuss about the mask is that the situation with this is that it can, the right ones can provide some level of protection, but I'm not talking about one that doesn't, that basically prevents you from fucking breathing. No, that's the one. Those are the types you do not want to be wearing. But they, the jackasses who basically are causing all of this harm on, to being done to so many people. Of course, they would love for you to wear something like that. You need to be able to breathe, man. You have to be able to. But it's so counterproductive. Like certain types of masks that still will allow you to breathe, right? It'll be like a loophole to also blocking the geoengineering, as long as it has no material that can feed this stuff, because you don't want to be counterproductive like that. You want to be able to block this stuff, but you don't want to be able, you don't want to be feeding it. But of course, that stuff builds up, man. That stuff builds up, and it even worse, it moves. It freaking moves too. So, with all that being the case of what it is, we detox this stuff as much as we do, but they always will spray that damn sky over and over and over again. To re-poison us, to continue to keep us latched onto this damn system. It's the desperation for that is unbelievable, but it's true. It's just damn, when you see the amount of effort that goes into that, you be like, they really want people plugged into this system. You got to remember, it ain't about the money, it ain't about the collateral, because they don't get that biomedical data. They don't get that shit from that. No, they get it from us. No matter where we go, no matter what we do, they'll keep trying to come after us for that data. And of course, they're not just gonna for some people who would actually get it in their head, well, maybe if I join them, they'll leave me up. No. If anything, they would try to use something like that to make their jobs easier, man. Don't fall for shit like that. Don't. Because in the end, they are torturing you for profit. They targeted you for a reason. In my case, they targeted my mother, and now they came after me, and as a result, they also went after some of my other family members too, such as my sister. I can't say my brother, because I saw for myself that he was a perp, unless he was just talked into it and they lied to him. The thing is, this program is highly deceptive, and the biggest problem is why it's still going on now is because people gave in to the fear. People caved in. People lost their strength, their backbone. And it's because so many people. It's because they bombard you with so many people. They do shit. They do stuff like that. They really do. Just think of the scandal. Over half a freaking neighborhood is the prime result of why human trafficking continues. And when you look at that, it's the same thing within the entire United States, as well as every other country too, because it's stuff like that. There's a group of people out there within almost every section, within almost every business, of any practices you can possibly think of, or even every faction of everywhere you can possibly imagine, is completely compromised in some way, either by people being poisoned by this geoengineering that's basically cultivated in a way to get people to act out when certain things are activated, or maybe even something worse. Has anybody ever questioned some of these things, to where why we have these random shootouts? Why these things happen? And it seems like it's always the same thing. It's always the same situation. It's these people will basically try to isolate themselves. They'll try to get away from what is basically trying to destroy their lives. They can't even be around family or even around former friends, because the fact of the matter is, they're using triggers to basically get them to act out. And the thing is, this is so fucked up, because people die from this program, man. People commit suicide from this. And even worse, this program is the main freaking source of why human trafficking of all ages is even happening in the first place. All these kidnaps that go down, all of the stuff that happens, but people have the audacity to basically say, I'm disgusted by that shit. But then, why the fuck are you working for these assholes? If you're disgusted by it, why the fuck are you working for them? That little childish gang stalking shit that they do, I don't give whether you wear the colors, whether you basically do the signs. You gotta understand that money is dirty as hell, and it's drenched in blood from the suffering of many different people. I don't trust the police as far as I can throw them, and I don't think any other TI should ever even trust them at all, because they are predominantly involved, as well as the medical industry. And I'm gonna basically break it down to you as to why. They know, even the medical industry knows, and this is probably the best damn example I can give you. Let me just take that off. Sorry about that. But the best example I can give you is that they know that when it comes to cops, without criminals, there is no work. So this is why we see situations of cops actually actually enabling crime to get to promote the excuse to keep a job, right? They'll even go after innocent people. They don't give a fuck. They'll go after people who didn't even do anything, just for the very excuse to keep a job. They'll even involve themselves in organized crime, which of course many of you are who have experienced this program's malevolence, who have endured its bullshit, already know full well. The same thing applies to the medical industry. They know if they just started curing people, right, fixing the illnesses entirely instead of just patching it, which keeps, if they're patching it, it just means that the patient's going to come back and pay him more money, right? Why cure people when you can just patch them up and then have them come, keep them coming back, keep the cash flow going, right? Why not do that? And that's exactly what they do. It's the same damn thing with a lot of these other situations. A lot. And it's just been like that. They just want to find a way to exploit the people for profit. That's just what it is. And there's a lot of hushness when it comes to this. So no, they're not gonna come out and just say these things that they've been doing it. Who the fuck would? I sometimes look at certain types of people and wonder, like, why do they not have any common sense? But then these are the same people that basically try to discredit all of us, right? It's like they have no damn common sense. Why the fuck would anybody come out and just say, this, that, and the other thing? But it's despite that, it's not like the people haven't came out and actually admitted to this stuff. They have. I got a playlist for it. There have been people who basically admitted to what they were doing, that they were told, that they were hired into this. And there have been whistleblowers who are even in higher up positions of the actual inner workings of this program. But no matter how you look at it, like a lot of people talk, but like I find there's people out there who are way more knowledgeable than me about this stuff. But the ones who, it's not to say all of them are like this, because there are some out there who are busting their asses every day, basically trying to find solutions for humanity, to basically try to, hopefully, to end this. I have no confidence I'm going to be the one to end this, but I'll damn sure be a part of the actual solution that ends it. I like to believe that for a lot of us, because it's that we're not going to just sit there and just take this bullshit from a bunch of immature jackasses who has nothing better to, who's basically lived their lives in a way to where it's become super boring, to where they gotta peer into the lives uninvitedly into the lives of others, and then just destroy it as much as possible just to get a sick, sadistic, twisted laugh from it. They don't care if you're homeless. They want to laugh at all the little shit that they do. When they workplace mob you. When they gaslight you, even in the store. When they mess with you. Even when the thing is, this stuff is so wrong, man. It is so fucked up that it's been suspected. In fact, I'm pretty certain it has been happening. That this stuff happens to that they do experiment on the homeless. There was a situation that I brought up before a long time ago about how this guy was able to get a whole bunch of donation monies in, and he was able to get a lot of homeless people into their own individual little homes so that they can actually try to fix their lives up. Remember, these gang stalkers are in a collective group, and they are in damn near literally everywhere, right? But, of course, there's going to be always more of us than there is of them. However, keep this in mind. With that situation with those homeless people, how come how come a lot of people got together just to freaking get rid of those houses? They put those homeless people back on the street. They came up with sorry half-ass excuses, saying, "Oh, it's basically block and half." Like, they came up with as much bullshit as they possibly could think of. Even if it was a lie, they still went with it. What was the motivation for this? These people were off the street. They were getting their lives together. They were going to go get a job. They were going to basically go out and live. But why is it that they had to fuck with that? And if you're wondering, I did upload this too on my other channel, on my second channel, Mischievous M. I had it on there, and it's still there. I suspect those people were, some of the, not all of them, but there was a good amount of them possibly being experimented on. And the thing is, it's like they would probably view something like that as free game. You know, those people's lives are ruined they'll have this ideology in their minds like, well, their lives are ruined anyway. Why not go ahead and just see if we can find a profit for this? You know, community service. No, we're not going to pay them any money. Or we'll at least, you know, if they need to eat or, you know, to keep them alive, we'll probably send our goons by them to basically pay them whatever money that they're begging for. How fucked up is this, man? The thing is, it should not be in a situation to where we default to just lying down in the streets. No. It shouldn't be to where any problem that that citizens have, they need to turn to the government. No, it shouldn't have to be like that at all. It should be, we already have a solution for ourselves. And whatever the fuck the government wants to say is secondary. Meaning that comes second before we, you know, before our decision, right? That's exactly how it's supposed to be. But you see, they wanted to cultivate life to where people are so dependent on the system, though. And I see right through all of that. When it comes to homes, they want you to buy them from the banks instead of making your own. They designed the whole land structure to where, you know, all the land is basically bought up to where nobody can just easily leave out and build a house wherever. The whole free land thing is probably nothing more, you know, probably been used up, and it's either that or it's a huge scam. And even if you do go off grid, right, it's not that shit, you can't just go off grid and build yourself a place. They're going to come up with random excuses saying, well, you need to be connected to our city's water system. No, you can't just be shitting all over the place. No, you need to actually have a you need to have to actually have a sewage system connected. So we probably got to have our sewage connected to you as well. Yeah, we got to have all of that stuff connected. Dude, the animals shit and piss within these forests, within these forest preserves, all of these places, all the damn time. But why is it such a huge issue for a person to, you know, to handle their business out in the middle of the wild like that? No one's around. It's not like it's basically public indecency. And not to mention it's fertilizer for the damn ground, dude. But it's something that they've been doing to us that they know damn well that they don't want to, they can't just come out and say it. They're not going to do that shit, man. They're not. They'll do a few things, but what I notice whenever it comes to them talking about any of this stuff with people who are classifying themselves as target individuals, right? Whenever they talk about this shit, all the time, they look for the person with the least amount of evidence. Every time they show them in a video, it's the same damn thing, the same damn script, day after day after day. Whether you see them on TV, or whether you see them in anything, really, even in the documentary sometimes, it's people with little to no evidence, and they never go after, you know, they never showcase people who have factual evidence. They never do it. And from time to time, we don't even know if the person who is even in the video is even an actual TI or not. It could be a paid actor, for all we know. But at the same time, you know, the person could very well be genuine. You never know. You never know, man. You just never know. How fucked up is it that you wouldn't even, you know, when you're at a certain part of, you know, lack of knowledge, it's not your fault. Because, of course, the enemy's not going to tell you the truth. In fact, they're going to do this as best they can to hide it from you. People are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. They go after people who we basically wake up, but at the same time, it's fair to say that they were, this shit was just, what some people I'm sorry, but you can't get mad because they were going to come after all of us eventually. This was bound to happen. All of it is. Even if I had known about all of this stuff, eventually they would have came after me too. They do, and you can tell. Look at the events of 2020 and 2021. Look at all of this stuff. All of this crap, man. Every single bit of it as you can possibly think of how ridiculous it is. This whole, you got to go indoors, and you got all these people basically kissing Uncle Sam's ass. Did they not get their asses in their house when basically Uncle Sam told them they better get their ass in the house? Yes, they did. The thing is, we at least know all this bullshit, and we rebel against it. And we got everybody, including our families, turning against us. And it's sad, man. It really is. You think back to how much time has been lost. How much time of our lives we've been robbed out of for these selfish assholes. Just because they want to make a living for themselves. But like their living depends upon depends on the destruction of our living. Profiting from the destruction of others' lives. The people who don't want to believe this stuff is either completely, and I'm just going to say this, man, they're either completely ignorant to this, or they're a part of the problem. That's the only two realities there. You're either ignorant of it, and you just don't know enough to really see it for what it is, or you're a part of it, and you're secretly hiding it. What you see here is a project I worked on a while ago. And this same project, it was a taser sword. But the last design I had was a bit flawed. And the unit piece that I was using in order to basically, conduct the electricity throughout the entire blade was flawed as well. Unfortunately, I messed up by using copper wire, which is not recommended for something like this. So I switched it up. And as you can see, there's I'll talk about a lot of this in the video, but I'm only going to play a short part of it just until you can see that it actually, just see that it works. Time you guys saw this thing, it didn't work out too well, and I had the wrong type of wire. I thought I could, I was trying to play it safe using copper wire, but it didn't give me the it had electricity going through it, of course, but it did not give me the desired effects of what I wanted. So I had to swap it up, put some aluminum wire on there, and now give it a better design, because unfortunately, you can't necessarily have these things touching each other, if that makes sense, because they won't act out properly. So as you can see that it's on. My apologies, that's just the mic recording thing. Yeah, need to turn that off when I get a chance, but if you want to know if it works, there you go. The last time I made that whole video is like around 20 minutes, but I tried, let me tell you something about some of these videos that get made. Some of these videos that some people who are being targeted made, and they're describing some of the things that they've endured, like the effects from the frequency-based weapons. People need to understand, when it comes to radio waves, you can't physically see that, okay? You can't physically see that stuff. But you see these trolls. I don't know if I've made it. It should be public. But there's a playlist on. There's two playlists. One of the playlists has people admitting to what they were hired to do, which is the gang stalking, right? There's that. Or in this case, the corrupted. If I wanted to use the actual word for this, I would say community, basically threat assessment teams and community, I think it was community policing or something like that. I'm close, but I might be pronouncing it wrong. You see, there are, even the neighborhood watch is no different. You see, they utilize structures that were put out there that's supposed to benefit the people, but they misuse it. They use it instead of a benefit of people. They use it in a line for profit. In fact, they basically just, it's actually doing the exact opposite of what it's supposed to do. It's not protecting lives, and if you ever see them do protect lives, it's just a front, a scam, just to basically buy the people off, and basically give off the illusion that they're doing what they're supposed to do, which in reality, they're doing a lot more harm than good. All right, you shouldn't. I don't give a fuck whatever people call it. It shouldn't be people out there stalk. The whole point of a neighborhood watch is to not stalk people. It's to make sure the stalking doesn't go down. But what do you do when the actual freaking place is responsible for it in the first place, right? Or at least part of the problem of it. It's crazy. It's messed up, man. It really is. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Not going to go on for too long. I think I've addressed everything I wanted to talk about. In the next video, I'm going to have a comedy segment for you all to basically try to put up some laughter there. Because you got to have laughter. You got to have a hobby too, because you don't want to overexert yourself on this stuff, on this kind of stuff, because it really, really will overwhelm you if you allow it to. Stay strong with positivity and stay fierce against negativity.